I'm Richie. So maybe most of you guys know me. This is awesome. This is the first time me holding this panel in a big, nice room like this. So thank you, MAGFest. I'm looking right at the camera. Love you. Okay, so I hate doing this for those of you who don't know who I am. Well, first, is there anybody that came to the first two panels, or even the second one that I did last year? Anyone here from last year? Just you guys up front? Cool. That's all good. We're all new friends now. Now that's awesome. This is going to be a music production and a mixing panel. I'm a music producer and a mixer from New York City, but now I live in California. And I would come here for the last 3 years and just break down songs that I've done that are commercially released for you guys, or for either hobbyists or professionals or people just wanting to learn more, because that's the type of person I am. I'm really hungry for knowledge, especially knowledge of stuff that I'm passionate about. And unfortunately, for better or for worse, there's a lot of free information out there now, and in my humble opinion, it's hard to know what's really reliable, especially if you're trying to learn quick. So that's, you know who we are, right? Okay. So that's why I do talks like this. I do seminars at schools and, summer camps, and where else do it? Chuck E. Cheese? Discovery Zone. I go, I basically, I'm now banned from those places. Twitch. I'll do live mixes on Twitch. So, since this is my third time back, and I wanted to make it kind of fun. So what I would do in the past is just sort of go through the track, break down the thing, and people would ask questions, and we'd run over time. Because everybody has questions, and I want to answer everybody's questions. So MAGFest was super gracious to let me go an hour and a half. We don't have to use that all that time, but I encourage everybody to, I'm going to ask as much as you want, and that's where this little idea of mixing with the D20 comes in. So I'm going to start this panel, just like I start every mix panel, breaking down the track, laying down some foundations. If somebody wants to interrupt with a question, they can do so, but they got to roll for it. As I'm breaking down the track, if anybody here wants to express an alternate idea, and it could be anything. If you want to copy the bass to the beginning of the track because it isn't there, we could do it, but you got to roll for it. If you want to, erase the record, we could do it, but you got to roll for it, and that's going to be a pretty high. That's going to be a pretty high roll. So that's it. That's what we're doing today. So here's me breaking things right off the bat. Here's a breakdown of this track. This track is also the first time me bringing something video game related to MAGFest. This is a cover of the Moon theme. I see some people know what I'm talking about already. From DuckTales, the NES game. Cool. How many people know this song? Okay, great. It's also entered in Dwelling of the Duels, and you could listen to it at the listening party tonight. I don't know what time it's at. Was it 12:30? Midnight and a half. And you don't have to vote for it, but if you do vote for it, just vote for it. It's all good. Anyway, so I thought, I'll break this track down. And also, all the instrumentalists are here. It's me, it's my buddy Eddie over here, and it's my buddy Adnan in the Yoshi onesie. They're also on the track. So Adnan's playing the lead guitar, and Eddie is playing the backup lead guitar, and I'm playing everything else. It's okay because they live across the country now. I used to live in New York. They live in New York, so we couldn't do everything all at once like we used to. But either way, if you want to talk about guitars with them afterwards, you should. All right. So here's the session. It's a big one. You know what I'll do first? This is the tracks from left to right. We got our drums here. I'm going to break down how I organize my sessions in a second, because that's part of the fundamental stuff, and I want to get that in quick, because no matter what skill level anybody is here, you're gonna benefit from it. You'll be able to apply it immediately, and it's going to help, especially producers. It may sound like a mixed thing, but if you start this when you start producing, actually by show of hands, how many of y'all are producers just making records? And anybody just mixing records? That's usually not too many people, yeah, because it's pretty specialized. Nobody. Okay, everybody else, why are you here? All right, man, it's good enough for me. Yay, music. Oh, this dude. Yeah. Yeah, man, all right. Okay. So, here's everything in red is a drum. Okay. Here's some drum effects. I'm going to talk about this in depth, I promise. So, it may look like I'm skipping over stuff, but I'm not. Here's some percussions. Here's one bass. This is like a punk kind of, I would say it's a punk bass. It's a P bass that was recorded. Everyone know what I'm talking about? P bass, precision bass, Fender. Yeah, okay, someone likes precision, but good man, good. The other one's a Hofner. So the song kind of mutates into a bunch of different genres as it goes along. Well, only two. Different genre, three, I don't know, whatever. As it goes along. So I use different instruments. The P bass is very growly, and that facilitates more of a rock and roll, punk, metal sound, whichever one, what you want to call it. And then there's also a bossa nova section in it, and I have a Hofner bass, the Beatle bass. If people don't know the brand, it's the bass that Paul McCartney's famous for. Then we got some synth basses. We have a mellotron. We have a piano. We have some synths, and then we have all of our heavy guitars. There's 3 guitars here. I'm going to talk all about them later. And then there's everything that's green is a guitar. AG is acoustic guitars. And then we have all the lead guitars played by my buddies right here. And then the effects, and then we have these things, and these are very important. That's what I'm going to talk about now. These are called buses. Just by show of hands, and it's okay if you don't know what I'm talking about. When I say the word bus, how many people know what I'm talking about? Okay, I want to make sure that everybody knows what I'm talking about. So, one sec. Let me go to my desktop here. Okay. This has to do with something called gain structure. I'm going to get a little electrical for you. Back in the day when you recorded music with equipment and everything wasn't in the computer, audio or sound was transported by electricity. So think of any sound that you could think of that was recorded. It was carried along a very, very low voltage current, approximately 1.128 volts. And that carries a song through a wire, and then it hits your speakers, and that's how you hear stuff. That's a very, very broad definition of how analog audio works, but that's what it is. So if we have multi-tracks is your singular instrument, like a kick drum, or a snare, or a guitar, or a vocalist, right? You have all these tracks, and they're being reproduced on some kind of medium, whether it be a tape machine, or a computer, or your iPod, or whatever, right? In this case, we're going to bring it back into 2022 and we're talking about a computer. So our multi-tracks, so all those tracks I just showed you, they have an output, because the sound has to go somewhere. So instead of sending them to the speakers or the mix bus directly, I send them someplace first. So I send them to buses. A bus is just a destination for audio. It's where multiple sources of audio are joined together. In the music world, we call that summing, because we're summing two different or multiple different things, and they sum into one output. Am I losing anybody here? Man, I'm so proud of you guys. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so in my personal setup. So if anybody here, who is the producer again? You. Okay, so we have a couple. Okay. So, for those of you who are thinking about production or doing it now, I encourage you to group your instruments. Think about the job they do and group them. and then send them to a destination. It's not the final destination, it's just one place. You're grouping them, right? So the reason why I like this approach, is because it makes you think about what the job of these singular instruments are. Not just musically, but emotionally. What are the drums supposed to make you feel? What are the guitars supposed to make you feel? What's the lead guitar supposed to make you feel like? What's the vocalist supposed to make you feel like? Not just by what you're hearing, but what it feels like to hear them. Does anybody have like a favorite sound? Like something that like you hear it and all of a sudden you feel a certain way that you like? Yeah. Okay. That's music, in a nutshell, right? But think about a singular aspect of music, a constituent of a song. A snare drum, a bass guitar tone, a regular guitar tone. It can get people excited. So if you group these things, you'll treat them in such a way that amplifies that emotional sort of... It'll compel the listener to stay with your record if you care about these types of things. So, and what I do is I separate my song into a bunch of different parts, a bunch of different buses. I got bus A. Bus A is just drums. Bus B is guitars, or rhythm instruments, rather. So, any instrumentalists here, or are we just casual music listeners? Okay, so we know what rhythm instruments are, right? For those of you who don't know what rhythm instruments are, it's a musical instrument that also attributes to the rhythmic nature of the song. So, for example, a piano could be a rhythm instrument. If it's, what's that horse song? You play that song and it sounds like you're on a horse, okay? You know what I mean? So, that bus B is my rhythm bus. Any instrument that is rhythmical goes in there. Bus B dark is the same thing, but sometimes I don't want this processing on bus B dark that sort of make the sound darker. Sometimes if a rhythmic instrument that's especially percussive, for example, an acoustic guitar that was recorded very brightly, and you're chugging away on an acoustic guitar, it could sound annoying. It could get abrasive. So I have a dark version of that bus. Bus C is a sustain instrument. So we're thinking strings, synth pads, pianos, anything that has an elongated tone. It's legato in nature. Bus D is the same thing, only it's a brighter version of bus C. Vocals, that's self-explanatory, right? That's where I send my vocals. And then effects like reverb and delays and chorusing, that has its own bus. Okay, so that's step one. Step two now is what's called parallel processing. This can get a little complex. So, parallel process. Well, first off, does anybody know what parallel processing is? Wow, man, I'm really proud of you guys. Okay, cool. For those of you who don't, it's pretty simple. If you have one sound going to, let's say, your mix bus, your monitors, your speakers, if that signal or if that sound is sent to another bus simultaneously, so now you're hearing two versions of that same sound. Let's say you copy and pasted something, right? You take a guitar, you duplicate the track, and you treat one guitar track a certain way, and you take the same guitar track and you treat it another way, but you play them both at once. That's called parallel processing. So here's my parallel processing. Flavortown 1, my assistant from back in the day named it this because he was like, that's Flavortown, and I was like, that's a good name for it, and then I kept it, so in case you're wondering. Flavortown 1 is a compressor. I'm going to show you all this in a second after I'm done explaining it. Flavortown 1 is one compressor. Flavortown 2 is the same compressor, but with different settings, and they're both mono. Do people know what mono and stereo is? Yeah? Okay. So they're both mono, so it's all the things that I need to feel front and center in my mix, like a kick drum, a snare drum, bass guitar, and a vocal. Those are typically, not in every song, but in most songs, those are typically the things that are perceived as right up the center, monophonic material. Then I have Vocal Slam, which is another, it's a pretty abrasive compressor, and just my vocals go there. This thing called a TG1, which is a compressor that's also pretty abrasive, and all my music goes there. So everything except for drums. And then this stuff called Kickstortion you're going to see too. They're just distortion for all my drums. I like my drums distorted, so instead of applying distortion directly, I do it in parallel. Now, the parallel processing has to go somewhere too. And in my case, it goes to the mix bus. And that's where everything is joined up. So here you can see the hierarchy of sound and where it travels, and that's what gain structure is called. I promise you, if you really get your gain structure in order and you really practice this type of workflow, it's going to improve how your songs sound. You won't have to, it's beneficial to obviously learn the tools that you're using, but even if you don't want to take the time, for those of you who aren't doing this professionally, don't aspire to do it professionally, but you like to do it as a hobby, even if you don't take the time to learn what the tools do, just getting this type of mentality with how you structure your songs, it's going to sound better. Promise. Okay. Anybody have any questions about this? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? Could you come up here and say into the mic, because I couldn't really hear you. What's your name?
Anthony.
Anthony, what's up, man? I'm Richie.
Nice to meet you. So, just coming from how I understand, because I've never actually mixed, I just play guitar and I just know about guitar pedals. So, in your gain structure, when you're thinking about putting them into buckets, when you're thinking of an effectuating instrument, guitar pedal, does that go into just the FX bin, or based on how it's being effectuated?
Are you talking about a virtual plug, a virtual pedal, Okay, yeah. What he's asking, what it seems like you're asking is where would the audio from where would the affected audio end up? It would, if we're talking about just guitars, it would come out of your speaker cabinet. So there's two paths of audio. There's your guitar signal, and then there's what the pedal does. Both of these two signals, they end up in the same place, and you hear them both at the same time. Now, the proportion of unaffected to effective, that's controlled via your either wet and dry knob or a pedal board or something like that. But yeah, it gets sent to the same place. But if you're trying to record it separately so that you can mix it after, then I believe you're doing this with an amp plugin, I'm assuming, right? So you should be able to. What's the plugin? The T-Rax or something?
Honestly, this is more hypothetical than anything else, because usually I think of animals plugin, and I know there's actually a good stuff in it. The first thing that comes to my mind is a red fuck analog from guitar
into amp modeler. And you want to get your what's the thing that you want to do? You want to get the DI alone?
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, okay. So the question is, which bus am I going to put just the affected signal?
Yeah, this is all mainly just hypothetical, like I'm saying. I don't necessarily mix. I was just more trying to get around the idea of the theory. And if I'm thinking about what I'm using and thinking about the way you do as a professional, which bus do you go with?
Oh, okay. So what I would do, and this is what I do normally, I don't separate those. So I'll get the tone that I want if it is a pedal, and I'll commit, and then it goes, and that combination of guitar and effects goes to a guitar bus. So bus in my particular case, bus B. That's what I would do. If you are unsure about the blend of affected to unaffected, I would send the affected to someplace else that you can control, to another, just a separate fader. But both of them would go to the guitar bus. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's take a look at these buses. All right, our first bus is in this particular session is a bass bus, and let me show you what's on the bass. You know what? This may be better off doing it in this window. Okay. Yeah. So our bass bus. This is a distortion plugin, and this is just emulating a channel in my home studio on a mixer that I have. I have a tube preamp that I use as a bass bus. So this plugin, it's called Black Box, is emulating that tone. It's just kind of like a dark, punchy thing. Next bus, bus A, this is where my drums go, and this is emulating an API mixer, which is it's a channel. It's pretty fast, meaning that it handles transients very well. It's fast and punchy. And when I say fast, that also means if you have, like, think of a drum, right? The drum impulse, you'll have a lot of volume in the beginning. That's called a transient, and then it dissipates very quickly, right? So you don't want something that's going to elongate that quick, drop of audio. You want something that's going to handle the transient and then reduce its volume cleanly, because that facilitates the way drums are in nature. Bus B. This is do you guys know what Neve is? Like a Neve over here, Neve preamps? Okay. This is emulating a Neve preamp. It's just a type of preamp, just a type of sound. Bus B dark is the tube plugin again, because it's a darker tone. Bus C, Neve preamp again. And finally, bus D is just another Neve preamp. Then our parallel, we got Flavortown 1. This is called an Acme Opticom. It's a compressor, and it's pretty punchy, and it has a very, very thick sound. So the things that I want to sound punchy and thick, aka kick, drum, bass, get sent right here. Flavortown 2, same thing, but this is just dedicated to my snare. So I'm sending my kick and my bass to the same place. They get compressed together. My snare gets compressed alone. The AR bus is that TG1 bus, just another compressor. And then this thing called Germs bus. This emulates a pair of compressors that I own called Germaniums. This is a plugin by Baby Audio called I Heart New York 2. It's a parallel compression plugin. Really, really fun to use. And it sounds exactly like these two compressors that I have. And then all of these go into the output bus called 2Mix. And that has a bunch of processing on it. And this is what handles the whole song. So we have some distortion. And when I say distortion, it's very subtle. Oh, yeah, what's up? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. So, if anybody didn't hear that question, he asked if the plugins are just modeling some of the hardware, the analog units that I have in my studio. Are these for like traveling purposes? And the answer is yeah. It's for anytime I have to do something quickly too. Sometimes there are jobs that need to be done, yesterday, and I don't have the time to set up my rig, so I'll just do it in the box. When I say do it in the box, you guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, so mixers refer to doing things just solely in the computer as in the box, and if you are mixing with equipment like I do, we call that out of the box. I actually, you know what? Let's do this right now then. I have well, let's listen to the song, and then I'll go through. I have the in the box and out of the box mix, and we can. I don't know if we'll be able to tell the difference in here, but you may be able to. Okay, so without any other further discussion, let's listen to this joint. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you very much. You don't have to clap, though. Thank you so much, though. That's the song. There you go. So here is what we're going to do from here on out. I want to give you guys a second. Are there any immediate questions about anything before I start making you roll the D20? Yeah.
So this is going to be pertaining to the actual thing, but how much are we allowed to be?
Whatever. Hey, man. Rules is rules.
Can we, like, what I'm asking is, are we allowed to record something and then add it?
No, you just can move it. You either mute stuff, move it around, chop it up, delete it. What's up? I'm going to get you. I want to get him first, though. Oh, that's what you were going to ask? There's a couple. There's Blow. I mean, there's a few. Man, it was Blow, Drunken Love, 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven. What else? Man, what was the other joint? What was the other joint, man? What was it? It was off that Pink. It was off the Pink album. The one I call the Pink album was the first one, 2014, which she dropped in Christmas time out of nowhere. Man, I had to work Christmas Eve, dude. Beyonce made me work Christmas Eve, and like honest, because that was the only day. That was the only day she could listen to the records. It was Christmas Day with her family. That was it. She didn't have any other time. So I had to work Christmas Eve, and that was a big deal because I'm Italian, and Christmas Eve is like the night where you eat all the food. And I was like, but you know what? Gotta do what you gotta do. You're welcome. Yes.
Just out of curiosity, like, what?
Partition, dude. That was the other one. Let's go. Sorry.
So, like, was the initial thing you just played to your satisfaction? How was that?
To this?
Like the thing that we just listened to, how do you feel about
Well, I mean, I did under. I mean, most of the stuff I did under Deadline, but this was on a like I thought of this. I was like, oh, I want to enter this thing, but then I had to leave California, go to New York. So this was like maybe a 3 days worth of work. I mean, that's a. You know what? You bring up a really nice question. I'm going to elaborate on this. Because I think what you're asking me is like, when do I say I'm done? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
it? Like a baseline for how bad we're gonna like mess with it.
No. You could do whatever you want. This would be. I mean, I was satisfied with it, so I sent it in. Would I have liked to work on it more? I don't know. When I'm done, I'm done. I don't know when I'm done, but when I'm done, I'm done. Because I have severe imposter syndrome, and I never know. I don't like saying this is good. You know. I don't even know if it's. I don't know if it would be beneficial if I did have that ability to say if something was good, because music serves me emotionally first and foremost, which is the reason why I do what I do for a living. It's the only real thing that I can do, because I'm just listening to myself, and that's also part of the. It's also why I give these talks, and I bake it into the. I don't like getting so emo, with people, but I like to bake it into the seminars, because it really is about understanding your own taste, enjoying your own taste, and enjoying the fact that you enjoy something. Just understanding that you like something is a blessing in and of itself, because there are people that go their whole lives that don't really even get to understand that. They're almost like it's weird. Not in a negative way, but it's a weird thing for both scenarios. Not realizing I like something, but realizing you like something. And then having that realization drive you to do work or do a job. So if I'm happy, I say, okay, I hope for the best. Send it in. It really depends on the time. I mean, clients sometimes people want stuff yesterday. And I'm working on a record right now where the client is just like, they want it yesterday, but like we only have like so many hands, and everybody on the team is really inclined to do something right. So you got to listen to yourself, and that's when you're done. You're just like, I'm done. You don't toil, because check it. There's going to be more opportunities if you love what you're doing, and this is with anything. If you love what you're doing, there's going to be more opportunities to do what you love. You don't have to like say, oh, well, this has to be perfect. We're not. It may feel like we're doing brain surgery, and other people's lives depend on you getting your job done, quote unquote, correctly. But it's music. Incorrect shit sounds cool. Like if it makes you feel good, it's good. That's it. You should throw out every other barometer that you hear about or that you make for yourself. It puts too much pressure on you. When people are put under pressure, it's very hard to be creative. And also feel that warmth that music gives. It's a very powerful thing. It changes lives. It's a very important thing. So take your time, but don't take too much time. That's t-shirt. I'm going to sell that t-shirt for $10 in the back. Take time, but don't take too much time. Good question though. Now somebody else had a question. Yes. Oh man, okay. Loud. He's asking what's my take on the loudness wars. I just want to make sure. Does everybody know what that means? Loudness wars. Okay. I'll define it, and I'm gonna keep this answer as short as possible, because I personally hate this topic. It's not because everybody just talks about it. So okay, for those of you who don't know what that means, the loudness wars. Have you noticed that music has gotten louder over the years? What I mean by that is, let's say you have your volume knob always at 5, and you're not increasing it, but over the years, the sound that comes out of your speakers, even though your volume knob hasn't increased, the sound has gotten louder. Has anybody noticed this? Okay. So what my new friend is talking about is, back in the day, music wasn't that loud. In fact, we would consider it quiet. It's actually mastered records of the 80s are actually quieter than mixes these days. Now, mixes are lower than, they're not as loud as masters. Masters are louder. Mixes of 2022 are louder than masters of the 80s. So, why did that happen? Some people say it was to become more competitive, because if the song jumps out at you, because we're human beings, thank you so much for that. Because we're human beings, we tend to believe that if we hear something loud and up front, it's more attractive. But the louder it is, the shorter the time span that attractiveness has, meaning the attractiveness will wear off quicker. The quieter the song is, it bodes the interest of a true enthusiast, meaning you have to physically listen into the song, for better or for worse. That's really up to you guys. Most of this is, I don't know, highly opinionated and very theoretical. But the argument is that songs got louder over the years so that they can sell more and right away. So, like, let's say Michael Jackson puts a song out. Sounds great, right? How do I compete with that? I'm not Michael Jackson. I'll just make a louder song. And then my song will sell as much as Michael Jackson. And then what does Michael Jackson do? He used to make a louder song. And then someone else has to make a louder song. They make a louder song. Now a song. And all of a sudden we're here now. And you can't listen to Yeezus at the loudest volume because it just distorts. You should try it. That's a good album. I mean, whatever you want to say about Kanye West as a person, like, Yeezus is a good album. But I can't listen to it. Like, even, and Beyonce's albums too. I mean, like, you should hear these mixes. I mean, the people that work on her team are like Olympic motherfuckers, like, just amazing. But they have to be loud, and they don't sound as good as the mixes. But the consumer never gets to hear that. So are we robbing the consumer? This is what the loud. So people are saying, like, no, make it quieter to give people a better experience. But then, people are, this isn't like a record label thing either. This isn't like the man saying, no, I don't give a shit about quality. We're going to pump it out, Artists are conditioned to believe this, because the first thing that an artist does is they go back and listen to the song that they want to sound like. And if the song they want to sound like is louder than their mix, even though it may be sonically, more enriched, if it's not as loud, artists don't like it. So the artist who's paying, the practitioners and the engineers and the mixers and the producers and everybody else in the personnel, what do they say? Why doesn't my song sound like this? And they don't understand, that they're just talking about volume. They don't understand, hey, just turn the volume up, because they're so nervous about their art. So it's very, and it's not their job to understand that. That's why they hire people like me. So I'm supposed to worry about it. But for those of you who work, and I just want to inject this point in, for those of you who work with other artists, who help other artists, for those of you who may be, interested in helping other artists, it's really good if you feel strongly about something to educate them, but do it in a place of empathy. You don't do it because you know better than them. Then no one's going to listen to you. You got to do it because you care about what they're putting out. If you don't care about what they're putting out, just do whatever they say, and get your paycheck. But if you care about what they put out, it's not just in their best interest and your best interest. It's in the best interest of the listener. If you really care and you think you know best about the song, talk to your artist, talk to the person, you won't get to talk to the audience. They don't know. They're not going to ever know, Very good question. Or any other question before I start breaking down the track? Yeah. Yeah, they have to be. I think so. I personally think so. I'm a fan of, if anybody cares, the quieter masters. They're just better. I mean, I'm not. That's a whole other panel. It's crazy, but they're better, in my opinion. What my new friend is asking about is vinyl masters. Is they have to be quieter, and that's why people have seen a vinyl resurgence. I think it has to do. There is a little bit. Has to do with it. It's also nostalgia. And for those who didn't get to live during the time of vinyl, It's a fun new thing because music is not concrete. You can't put something in a CD player or open your tape deck up. And, you can't open a booklet and read who made the record and the thank yous and all the other shit. It's not tangible. So if you give somebody this big disc and it's a whole ritual where they, take open the shrink wrap, take the piece of vinyl out, it smells a certain way, put it on the platter, put the needle down, you hear that, maybe you fuck up, you got to learn it again. It's a ritual. That's the reason why older people who lived during that time really can't give it up, and they'll never give it up because it's like saying, well, Sunday dinners are gone. It's really a ritual. You pair that with music, it's hard to give up. So that I think it's a little bit of both. You go ahead. Say that again. Could I what? You want me to add a ton of distortion to my mix bus? You want me to add a bunch of distortion? Yeah, you're going to have to roll for that, buddy. Yeah, all right. What do you get? Oh, okay, we're doing it. Let's see. How are we going to do this? Are we going to do it on the bus? Are we doing it on the mix bus alone? Is that what you want? You want me to just distort the whole record? I know, but so the bossa, what do you want me to distort all the instruments in the bossa nova part or certain instruments in the bossa nova part? Whole thing? Okay. Okay, we'll play it first. So that is this area here. Oh shit! Yes, that's it. No, we're right. Okay, so let's loop this part. Actually, let's just loop that part here. I'm going to lower the volume because it may get maddening because we're going to loop this bitch, and it can drive you crazy. So here we go. How am I going to do this? All right, let's see. I'm going to do it right from the mix bus. I think that's the move. Let's turn off some things first. Where are you? Yeah, let's turn you. No, we'll keep you on. We'll keep you on. I'm going to have to, this is a mix bus EQ. I'm going to have to probably tweak that because it's going to bring out a lot of high frequencies. Do I want to get it here? Yeah, I'm going to use this one too. And here's the preamp. It's the virtual amplifier that powers your mix bus. Let's try and get it from here. I don't really know how. I think I can do it. All right. So first thing we're going to do is attenuate the volume. I want to make sure that I hit here. I want to bring up a meter too. Attenuate means lower. So increase is the opposite of attenuate. Attenuate. A-T-T-E-N-U-A-T-E. Right? Is that right? Fuck yeah, dude. Progress. Okay, let's make this smaller. This is my meter. And let's bring up, I'm going to just disable some stuff. And let's start by distorting this sumbitch. All right, let's turn the volume down. Here we go. Oh, wrong. Where's the input on this thing? All right, I don't think. Oh, here we go. Is that what we're talking about? Yeah? More? Hey. All right, you tell me when. What do you think? Yeah, you like that? All right, let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can get it to work with the song, because that's the challenge. Remind me never to hire you as an assistant. Okay, so we're gonna turn the compressor on. Okay, you know, I want to point something out right now. The VU meter, right, this tells you how loud the song is, right? And it actually mimics the way your ear hears. You see, the way, the speed at which the needle moves, look, I'm going to lower this because I got to talk over the song. The speed at which the needle moves actually mimics how fast we can hear. Now think of the difference between how slow this is compared to the speed of sound. Okay, so take that into consideration. That's why I love using a VU meter, because you take that into consideration and you're actually crafting the song for human beings, and human beings are listening to your music. Does that make sense? It's a nice little tip for you guys. Let's give a little compliment. That's a good tip. Yay, nice tip, Richie. Okay. So I want usually the way I have my system set up at home, I want the needle to dance around the number 0. So here's another interesting thing. We added that distortion because he's a psycho, but we did it. Rules is rules. Doesn't it sound louder? Yeah. But look at the needle. That's low. That's 5 decibels lower than the undistorted thing. So distortion, which happens at the mastering stage, also tricks your brain into thinking it's louder. Remember what I was talking about? You can't listen to it that loud because then you start hearing all the distortion. You can only go so loud because remember, everything's digital these days. So when digital stops at 0, it starts at negative infinity and goes all the way up to 0. Doesn't go to, there's no 1, there's no 2, 0. Once you hit 0, that's it. So if you're already at 0 and you're not loud enough, what do? You add more distortion to make it, that's how it sounds like it's past 0. Now, here's another little test we're going to do. We got all this distortion, but when we lower the volume, I mean, no, there's so much distortion on this bitch that I can't even get away from it. But right here, I mean, the guitar seems okay, but that guitar is, so that's what happens when you add a little bit, you get too crazy with your masters. You want to get too hot. Once you start, you can only listen to, you're limiting the amount of space that the audience gets to listen to your song. And also, you further take away the physicalness of music and listening to music. This is just my opinion, because if you can't, touch something to turn it up because it's already too loud at like a low volume, what are we doing? There's nothing that's gonna, there's no other sensory experience we can have to make us memorize this song. There are songs that I've listened to, this is a honest truth, songs that have really shaped my my musical brain, where I remember turning it up, and I remember feeling like, oh shit, I'm on a roller coaster. It's weird. And as a kid, you're more sensitive to that type of stuff. But even now, just thinking about it, my heart rate goes up. Just turning that shit up. I think that's probably why I do what I do, because you get to mess with, knobs and you could feel it, Anyway, let's get this thing to work. We're gonna have to cut some low end. Okay. You want to backtrack it. Okay, so we want nice guitar, but we want distorted bass. All right, roll for it. Someone else has to attest to it. Oh man, this guy is just. You know what? Not only I got to be a good DM. I got to be a good DM. That was a very low roll. So not only does the base. Wait, how would I do this? No, I just leave it alone. It's so crazy right now. You know what? Okay, yeah, we're all right. Yes. Uh-huh. You want, okay, so the base is now going to go, I got to write this down. Okay, so what's your request, sir?
Distort everything but the base and throw the base itself into a gutter to try and get things to work on afterwards.
Base goes to, so that's going to go to bus C. Base goes to bus C. And what else?
Undistort everything.
Undistort everything.
Basically, undistort everything but the base. First suggestion.
Got it.
And throw the base.
Got it. So base remains distorted. Okay. Got it. Okay, roll for it. Oh. You sir. All right. So the number was because I wanted that to happen too, and hey, I'm the DM, so. Okay, so base remains distorted, goes into bus C, everything else goes back down to normal.
Yes.
Right, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just revert it. Well, yeah, because we're committing right now, so let's revert to saved. This is a nice little function. And now it's going to be the way it was. So we're just going to distort the base now. Sorry, distortion guy. That was good. It was a good way to break the ice. I gotta say, good way to break the ice. I appreciate you. You want? Yeah, I got Lil Jon samples. I mean, wait, do I? I don't think so, actually. But I do have Lil Jon samples. And then next year I'm going to do a panel where it's just like free Lil Jon samples, and it's just and like all this shit. Dude, I got some unreleased Lil Jon samples that you've never heard, and they're not that great. But they're funny. And here's a funny story I'm going to tell while the session is loading up. So these guys used to be in a band together. I think you still are in a band together, right? They're still on it. There's Adnan and Eddie. They what?
Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, never mind. That's fine.
Okay, so whenever I would mix their stuff and they'd want to hear the reference mix, is basically what I send to clients. I would throw in like air horn samples and Lil Jon samples in it, and I would think it's so funny, and so would the drummer, but Eddie would specifically hate it. And that made it even funnier. So I added more Lil Jon. See, can you just take? But he just asked very politely, "Man, could you just take the the air horn out?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, definitely." And I just put like 8 the whole. I'd send him like a truck horn, like yeah, it was good. Good times. Anyway, okay, so here we go. We got bass is going to go to bus C and distorted. So now what we're going to do. This one's going to be way easier. So here's our bass. Let's solo it and loop it. Hold up. Loop inside. What happened, dude? Oh, right. Let's go here. Window. Because I don't have a full keyboard. We want to loop this. Thanks. Okay. That distortion that you're hearing, by the way, inherently is in the track. I like to distort the Hofner. It sounds like it's in the 60s, because the amplifiers, the preamps and the amplifiers weren't made for like, they're made for like jazz and rock guys and Motown. They want big, fat fucking bass, so louder, and they were distorted, but it would sound, cool. So that's what you're hearing. But let's add some real distortion. You want to make a roll for what you want to distort it with? Okay.
Let me see the options real quick first.
Okay. Here they go, man. There's a lot.
Oh, there's so many.
Well, let's simplify it. Do you want a pedal? Do you want an amplifier? Do you just want, like, it was, you know, someone was having too good of a time mixing it?
Yeah, I think just like the mixer itself was just having too much fun, and you just kind of picked the state, right?
Got it. Okay, cool. Then let's use...
Do I have to roll for it, or?
Oh, shit, dude. Man, you know what? You're an honest quester. Let's go. Roll. I'll just bring the number down now. Oh. You know, I brought the number down to 5 because I was like, you're being honest, but okay. So now I'm just going to pick. I'm just going to pick something. Let's see. Do I have anything fun? Do I have anything fun? Oh, by the way, just by... PSP Audio Works is a company that I partner with. Every time I come here, I partner with the plugin company because they let me give away plugins. And PSP is also giving me 50 coupon codes. So if you want to, at the end of this, because I'm making you stick around like a piece of shit, you gotta, if you want to win a free I'm giving away 2 licenses for this delay plugin. I'm gonna show you guys in a little bit. So if you want that, stick around. But it also stick around if you want the coupon code. I got 50 of those. So I just need your emails, and then we'll lace you up. Okay, so, here we go. Vintage Warmer. Let's use it. I love this plugin. It takes up a shit ton of CPU, though. Okay. Let's turn the output down because the drive is going to increase the volume. So this is, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Let's make it fat too. This is before and then after. Want more? Okay. Through a guitar amp.
I want it to taste like it would be at a country fair.
Okay.
That's good. Deep fry that bass. Yeah.
Hello? There we go.
It broke.
Yes? Okay, let's put it back in the mix. Let me just level it out. So this is another reason I like a VU. Why do you keep... Oh, right, because I reverted. Okay. Oh, perfect volume. All right, great. All right, and now we have to send it to bus C. Bus C. You got that? You got that? You got that? This is MAGFest, after all. So that's it in bus C. All right, so now we're here. Now what? Yeah, I got you. So I want to get him first, then I got you. No, it's Pro Tools. Cut everything else except guitar. Okay. You want me to automate a reverb? You want me to automate a reverb? So let me see if I understand this. No. I want to just. No. There's no rules. Okay, so you want all the drums to appear dry. I mean, the sound be perceived dry, and gradually sound like they're moving away into a space. Okay, got it. And how big is this space? Big, cavernous. Cavernous. Okay. Let me think for a second. What? Oh yeah, you know what? We're gonna do what would that be called? Let's do a size check. Two rolls required. Okay, so first you got to roll to see if it would actually fucking happen. This isn't that bad, so yeah, I think you got a good chance. And I can't tell you. I can't tell you those things. I can't tell you those things. Okay, and then the second roll is going to be how big the room is. Got it. Okay, roll. First roll. Oh, it's happening. And then, okay, so that's like a mid-sized room. Well, hold on. It's 6 out of 20. So it's technically it's I would say a core. It's like, so if a cavern was a church, I mean, if a cavern was a church, if a big room was a church, a quarter of that would be like a bedroom. Okay. All right, let's do it. I think all right, this is what I'm going to do. Easy. So we are going to send this to a bus. And we're going to call this D20 room. And now I have to send this is gain structure, to my mix bus, which I call 2mix, which I should really organize this list. Okay, so now all this audio is coming out of this channel, and this goes to your speakers. So let's solo this stuff here. All right, and let me zoom in. I'm going to loop it. Sounds like all the... oh, right. Okay, sorry. It's going to go to D20 room. That did not do what I wanted it to do. Huh? All right, I'll just do it one by one. It's because the laptop has different like hotkeys. Actually, I'm lying. I just don't know what I'm doing. Joke's on you guys. Okay. All right. So let's pick a bedroom. And we're going to go to... Oh, you know what? Let's use a PSP audio thing. Actually, no, you know what? This will be a little bit more fun. We could actually pick a real bedroom. I like how they call like houses domestic. Like, just call it house rooms. You know, houses. Right? They got to be super profesh. If somebody wants to, I mean, you could do it. I could. Okay, here are the bedrooms. So you could look how shitty these bedrooms are, though. Like, imagine living in one of these bedrooms. Yeah, you can roll. Someone could roll for the bedrooms. Who wants to roll for the bedroom? All right, you know what? Let the gentleman do, because he suggested it. Bedroom 9? Yeah, there's bedroom. There's 15 of them. Okay. All right, give me a second. This looks like the room that murderer from Don't Fuck with Cats lived in.
I'm sorry.
You ever see that documentary on Netflix? That's a serial killer's bedroom. Okay. All right, so we're gonna start. Does anybody want to roll for how fast these drums get into the bedroom? You raise your hand first, so come on up. Oh, then that's fast. Okay.
I go 0 to 100.
All right, let's have a listen. Cool. That's a good choice, man. I don't know if it's going to work in the song, but it sounds cool alone. I'm going to do some EQing to it because there's a lot of low end in that reverb, so we're going to have to take care of that. And what I'm going to do, bro? I can do it right from this plugin, dude. We just turn the bass down. Let me listen to it again and make sure I did it enough. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so does anyone want to take a guess of what do you think is going to happen when I put that in the record? Well, yeah, somebody, you could shout it out. Somebody, no, you don't know. Okay, this is what I think is going to happen. I could be wrong, but I didn't change. You notice I didn't change the volume, right? We didn't increase anything. We just changed, what's called wet and dry signal. Dry signal being it's in front of your face in a vacuum. Technically, that's what no space is, and then it goes into a place. And we perceive it in a certain room, and we make judgments and conclusions upon what we're hearing as to the size of that room. It is pretty fascinating that you do this that quick while listening to those drums. But if I were to have you talk, if I were to have you talk to me here, and then you went deeper into the room, what happens? It's gonna, but you remain the same volume. It's gonna get quieter. So let's see if that happens as the drums move back into the room. They may seem quieter, even though we didn't mess with any of the volume. So let's see. I don't know. I could be wrong. All right, we're here now. What do we do? Yes. Oh man, yeah. There's a shit ton of samples that I can't do any sound replacing now because I would have taken my sample library with me, and so just rearranging. But you could make things louder. You could take certain samples out. You can morph the snare to however you want it to be. Deep spacey delay on the acoustic guitars. At which part? Section we're working on right now. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, right. We got to roll for it. Okay, so he wants to put a big delay, what are we talking about? Like Jupiter? Okay, like a space delay, like a big space delay on these guitars. Hold on, I got to think of a number for this. So I don't know. All right, yeah, go for it. Man, dude, you're really crushing this campaign, bro. Wow. No, we got he specified it. A big spacey delay. Okay, just on the guitars. It is called Moon Theme. He's got a point. He's not wrong. All right. Just the acoustic guitars in this part. Now, I should have asked this before. Would the lead guitar or the lead guitar? Well, no, the lead guitar is not acoustic. So, but the rhythm guitars or the lead guitar? No. It's a Les Paul R8 bridge pickup, tone knob all the way down. Oh yeah. Lead line. Okay, I'll give it to you. Lead line is over here. All right. Here we go. Let's use. Oh man, I love. Use the PSP plugin. Okay. We got to make it stereo. And okay, this is the plugin that I'm giving away for free, by the way. And this thing is amazing. It's you know what? If you win it and you want to learn it, yeah, I'm going to give a link to the Discord server that I run, and you can I'll walk you through it there. So big spacey delay. Let's see if they have a preset for big spacey delay, because we got 20 minutes left and I want to get more shit. Ping pong, probably. That's long. 500 milliseconds is fucking long. All right. That's a happy man. That's happy PSP man. PSP man. PSP man. That's nice, man. Do you want to put it in time with the record, or you want to keep it at 500 milliseconds? You want to make? Well, that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes it's cool. Let's talk about this for a little bit, because this is a good topic. Being perfect, right? Is perfect good, or is it bad? Some people may say perfect is good. Some people may say perfect is bad. It's really an opinion. But if you default to perfect without experiencing imperfection and making an opinion on that, then it's wrong. If you assume that making everything on a grid, does everybody know what I mean by on a grid? Okay, so that's in perfect time, like march, and nothing syncopates. I'm talking like, very staccato like, but if I like groove with it, talk like this in between a beat. To me, that's cooler. But that's just me. So I don't know. Test it out. That's the end of that story. But it's important. It's important. Always test out imperfection. It could be amazing. That's the reason why I don't like putting my delay right on the grid. Sometimes I will, though, if it depends on the player. Like if the player's loose, I may want the delay on it, because then the delay is going to interact with the loose player. But if the player's like metal or something like that, and I need it to make the record groove, I'm going to do a millisecond, or I'll shift it, maybe a dot. I don't, it depends. But mess around with it. Don't assume. Okay, so what do you want to do, though? Yeah, man. Okay. Let's see. Maybe we can make a nice little thing going on. Hold up. And the distorted bass. drunk, way too hammered. Let's see if I put in the kick. That'd probably be nice. Ooh, there we go. Right, it's nice. I don't know. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I guess a little bit more. Hey, guess what? I'm done. Goodbye. It does sound. Yeah, it does sound. Yeah, maybe I got drunk. It does sound more reggae-ish, like, but it grooves. It grooves. Okay, we're here now. What's next? Okay, I'm gonna get you because you've been waiting for a minute. Phaser. All right, I like. Yeah, roll for it. Yeah.
Alright, the AC was real low.
Yeah, man, that was like a 1. I love phasers. Phaser. The acoustic guitars. Do you have a preference of phaser, or just want me to pick? Okay. Let's use, you know what? Let's use Phase Mistress. I like this. I like this one. And we're gonna use, let's see. I like Vacuum. That's my favorite one. Oh, actually, you know what? There's a phaser on the lead guitar. This same thing. All right. Let's also do rhythm, and I want to, you know, we're gonna make it ramp up because that could be cool. We'll make it slow. All right, let's see what this sounds like. Do you want it to be? Oh, you know, is the guy that asked about the guitar pedal question still here? I think he split. All right, then I won't touch on that. But this is sort of like. He was talking about wet and dry. Do you want it to be 100% phaser signal, or do you want it to be like a blend? 100% phaser. All right, he's keeping it simple. I like it. All right, here we go. Okay, I like where this is going, so I'm gonna fuck with it. But anybody can interrupt me if they want to do something different, but they're gonna have to roll, and it's gonna be high because I kind of like this. So here we go. That was a good one. Let's see. We got 10 minutes left. So we keep going with this, fucking up the song, but that wasn't a fuck up. That was good. That was a good choice, man. Or you can ask questions, whatever. But you're gonna have to roll for everything now. So if it's a question, I'm gonna have to think if it's a good one. So what are we doing? Yes. Okay. What's that? What types of things? Anything. Anything you want. Yeah, you could do whatever you want to. Wait. Oh, this is a good question. You don't have to roll for it. What are the other forms of processing? This is what you're asking? Okay, so literally anything. But in terms of signal processing, I'm going to keep it like putting a plug in on something. Signal processing. There are maybe I think there's 4 main types. There's compression, there's equalization, there's distortion, and then there's like time aspects where it's reverb manipulation, space manipulation, or echo manipulation. So five main ones. That was a good question, though. Very good. Yes? Sure. Synth section, yeah. Sure. Where is that? Oh, it's not 17 minutes. Not 17 minutes into the song. Where are you, dude? Right here. Okay. Let's console everything. Oh, I think solo. Oh yeah, here's solo. Low pass filter on what? You want to cut out, okay, so you want to automate a high pass, and then you also want to cut out stuff? You want to cut out, I can't hear you, Richard. Oh, you want to EQ it? Okay, so you want to EQ what? This thing? Hello, bro. Okay. There's a piano. There is this mellotron. The bass is a bunch of them. So there's one bass synth. And then the sub bass synth. No, then there's this Juno. And then this so you want to just mute stuff. You want to mute the bass and you want to mute the lower end stuff. Okay, we'll just mute it because we only got a couple minutes left, so roll for it. You know what, I think it could be nice. I'll do it, and it's pretty easy. So here we go. This will be, so we want to hear the nice, the upper, the top thing. So we'll hear this one probably. That one's higher. Pianos. What about the flute mellotron? Flute mellotron. The lead. You want the lead in there? Right. Okay. That's what this sounds like. And there it is. Okay, so First, I want to say thank you very, 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 very much for hanging out with me and doing this. This was awesome. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you. If you want to come hear this song again, it's going to be played at the listening party, Dwelling of the Duels, tonight at 12:30. That's how we say that now. You want to hear the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. You roll for it.
Get in that 20, you have to. Wait a second.
No saw. Instant barbarians. No saw.
You want to double? You want to roll again? All right. Roll again. What was it? Next year. Honestly, I wasn't even expecting to get a nat 20 after the thing, but it technically was a 2. You play it where it lies. Okay, so anyway, you want to listen to the. Do we have enough time later, guys? Do we have enough time? Let's listen to it. Okay. I'm not going to include that muted thing because only because I didn't automate it. So here we go. All right, so here's your version. Oh wait, yeah, silenced. That's what it was. Okay. Now here we go. Good job, guys. Nice work.